you know, the whole like, oh, it's better to plant smaller size trees. What's your thoughts on that? Even like, should you still, and like, but you have to wait with smaller trees,
I
but it's better for the
yeah.
tree. What do you think about that?
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree? Yeah.
So I mean, I've planted palm trees. I think
Dustin
that
said the same exact thing, by the way.
So what
he was like,
yeah.
it doesn't matter as much.
So I think it matters if you let a tree get root bound. So if
Facts.
you don't pot it up,
So
then
explain,
yes.
so explain yourself on that.
So if you plant a tree in a 45-gallon pot and you aren't good at selling it, and it sits there for 2 years.
For 3 years.
And,
exactly.
And it's, you got the root spiraling around the container. Nope, no good. That tree will definitely do worse than if you had just planted a small tree. But if you can handle potting stuff up, so a lot of nurseries can't. So the big problem, I think, is that a lot of nurseries will buy in 3 gallons from Pine Island and Record Buck and all the main ones.
Yeah.
And then they try to sell it as that size because they don't have any soil, they don't do any, potting up. And then if they don't sell it, then it just sits in that container and spirals.
Yeah.
So that can happen with small trees just as easy as it could happen with large trees. It's just about taking care of the tree and knowing when you have to put it in a bigger pot and not letting it get out of hand, essentially.
That's a good point, man. So it's not as much as, because I've always thought like, yeah, it's better to do smaller trees, get them going so the roots could go. But you're saying if because every root system, like the roots have to match the top.
Yeah.
So if there's no space, it's insane, So, but most people don't know there's like a time cycle, right? That it could be in the pot. So you're supposed to tune into that as a nursery, yeah?
Yeah, so I feel like if you tune into that and you pot stuff up as it needs, and there's certain things that don't need it as much. So like a mango gets a big taproot, so that matters a lot. Whereas Japotacaba, their root systems are pretty shallow anyways. So that staying in a pot, that's why people keep them in pots long term. So it doesn't matter as much with a Japotacaba, but would matter a lot more if I put a mango in a 10-gallon pot and just leave it there forever. It's gonna root spiral and it's gonna be a less healthy tree whether I plant it
or jackfruit
or whatever. Yeah. So and
so
anything
it's the type of tree too. You're saying.
Yeah. So I bought persimmons from nurseries before, and the root is just around the whole container 8 times because they get big tap roots, and most nurseries put them in pretty shallow pots, and they kind of need to be in big deep pots even when they're in their smaller sizes. So a lot of people don't do that right, and then you get root bound trees, whether it's a 3-gallon or a 45-gallon.
We're in the garden. Existential.